Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well, having a really great day. This video, I want to specifically talk about Bitcoin mining and a bunch of new ASIC miners that have been announced over the past couple of weeks here, and just go through all that along with the efficiencies of these miners and as well as the pricing. Okay, there have been a lot of new announcements here, and yeah, this is just going to be about Bitcoin mining for those that are into it. Okay, I know as a residential miner, we are hard pressed to compete against a lot of these bigger industrial warehouse miners that have a lot cheaper electric. And yeah, but I'm going to talk about that as I go along in this video. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin halving as well, how that is going to have a big effect regarding people that are going to be purchasing these, as well as, you know, the Bitcoin network hash rate, which continues to climb. A lot of things that, you know, a lot of risks that are involved. For those such as us, you know, regular residential miners that are thinking of, you know, going into something like this. All right, so we're going to talk about that throughout this video, talk about profitability as well, just comparing it against, you know, much lower electric versus maybe residential electric. You know, that's something that I think we'll need to compare because it does make a pretty big difference. So let's go through my efficiency sheet here. This is a sheet where I have linked down below in case you guys want to see it. I have it also with Casper miners, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, all these different type of ASIC miners that are out in the space right now. But specifically, this video is just mainly tied towards Bitcoin. Okay, so we got WhatsMiner, M63S, M66S, M60Ss, M60, M60S. Okay, so these are miners that have been announced just recently at the Dubai, all right, Blockchain Life 2023, October 24th, 25th. They just had an event there with showcasing a lot of different miners and such. And I got invited out to here. Unfortunately, I was not able to go, but I'm actually thinking of going on to the next one, which is in April 15th, 16th of 2024. So I'll probably be going anonymously. I don't want to, you know, dox myself. But that's something that I just wanted to let you guys know. That's something, this is where all this stuff was announced, right? All the big players, all the big, you know, Bitmain, WhatsMiner, MicroBT, Ice River was there, Ipolo was there. A lot of different manufacturers are there showcasing their miners, right? A lot of money involved in all this kind of stuff, right? Big players, big whales. They even say it on their website here. It's like crypto whales meeting point in Dubai, right? Now, let's go through the announcements here of new Bitcoin ASIC miners. Okay, so you guys have heard probably already of the Bitmain S21. That was a good month or two ago. And of course, the Desawi miner as well. I believe that was announced at the Mining Disrupt. Okay, so that's another apparent, you know, 20 terahash per watt or watt per hash ASIC miner, right? Very efficient. And then at that time, and then we got the Bitmain announcement of the S21. And now we got a whole bunch of new ones here. WhatsMiner coming out of the gate with their new ASIC miners. Okay, really efficient. They're going up against the Bitmain S21, and you know, WhatsMiner, very known for their reliability and of course not so much efficiency, but looks like now they're getting pretty up there with Bitmain here, efficiency, but reliability. I've heard from everyone saying their WhatsMiners have been the best, most reliable ASIC miners on the market. And you know, I've had one which I gave away a while ago, and I have to say that thing was pretty nice. It was actually really, it was also super loud, but it was a really nice ASIC miner. It felt really, you know, strong built and everything. And but versus the Bitmains, you guys know, I mean, depending on what time you've been mining, you've heard a lot of issues with S17s, maybe the first generation S19s had some issues. S19 XPs are also notorious these days, having a lot of issues, and also my X5 and a bunch of other Bitmain models that have been having issues. That's one thing I'm kind of worried about with the S21. Anyways, well, we'll talk about that later as we go along. So MicroBT, WhatsMiner. All right, so these new models, we got the M60S, M60 series, M60, different terahash models. Okay, you know, better representation here. I learned this from Crypto Miner Bros that they have all their new WhatsMiner models listed here. Okay. If you guys know Crypto Miner Bros, I am partnered with them over the past 4 years. They have shipped me a lot of different ASIC miners for review. They've served hundreds of thousands of customers, and their pricing that you see on their website includes shipping and also duties and taxes. Okay, I know it seems like they're higher than most websites, but it's because they include all that pricing in the prices you see on their website, just like this on their shop page. Anyways, the S21, all right, is here. And then the What's Miners, just showing now on Crypto Miner Bros. A link down below if you guys want to check it out. So What's Miner, okay, M60S. Let's click on this one. All right, so there's a 170 terahash, $5,249, and there's a 186 terahash, 5699. Okay, these are in stock, and I am gonna be getting one from Crypto Miner Bros in the next week here or two, and I will be showcasing it to you guys on the channel. All right, we're gonna check this out. And if you guys want me to open it, let me know down below. I'll open it and we can check out the boards and stuff. We seem to be doing that with all these ASICs these days. Anyways, these What's Miner M60S Bitcoin miners. Okay, so the power consumption is going to be around 3,400 watts. Okay, and so the efficiency of that of an M60 170 terahash is going to be about 20.2 watt per hash generally. And if we're looking at the M60S 186 terahash, which, you know, MicroBT, What's Miner advertises this one, is going to be 18.5 watt per hash. So that's pretty close to the Bitmain's S21 at 17.75 watt per hash. But they always, in my opinion, you know, low ball it or high ball it, or depending on how which way you look at it. I'm thinking that this S21 is going to more so take like 3,700 watts. But that's going to depend on the, I guess, your environment and, you know, what the fan speeds are going to be at and such. So really take all of these numbers with a grain of salt and probably add like another point or two, because it really depends, you know, on your environment when it comes to efficiency, you know. Okay, so anyways, these are the new ASIC miners, the next generation of ASIC miners for Bitcoin mining that are now out here. Okay. Desawee, I haven't seen on any reseller websites. I think Desawee is only selling themselves. Okay, they're not selling to distributors. But anyways, you guys can see the next generation of efficiency compared to S19K, J Pro, XP, all these models, which in my opinion, it's not really a big jump, but we're talking about a couple points here. Okay, a couple points in efficiency compared to S19J, XP, S19K Pro. You know, this one's a notorious one I just received, but this one does 23 watt per hash roughly. Actually, more so 24, because some of these models, from what I've seen, seem to take more power at the wall. But if we were looking at, instead of looking at efficiency watt per hash, now let's talk about the price here. Okay, the prices of these. Okay, if you were to buy an S19K Pro right now, the dollar per gigahash or dollar per terahash is going to be the S19K Pro. All right, this is 2,229 on Crypto Miner Bros. Right now. Okay, so this miner could be a good buy, but totally depends on what your electrical cost is. Okay, we'll check profitability in a second. But looking down the list here, the next one would be S21, but it's not released until January, February, March, April, May, June, July. But that depends on which batch you decide to buy. Okay, so if you buy the January batch on Crypto Miner Bros, that's $41.49. Your February batch, $4,049. March batch, $36.99. Looking at the April batch, $35.49. May batch, $34.99. June batch, $34.79. So you can see the price goes down as it goes along. I mean, yeah, this is really the same time during the March, April, May. This is when the Bitcoin halving is going to happen. All right, so you all know, right? This is a big risk here. Okay, understanding, but of course, at the end all be all, I have to state this. You are getting into Bitcoin mining because you believe in Bitcoin. You believe that the markets are going to go up again, and that we are in this cycle where, you know, that we will eventually get there. A 4-year cycle where Bitcoin always goes up in the next run up, right? It always goes higher and higher. So if that's your ultimate conviction, ultimate belief, and you are, you know, going to be wanting to spend this type of money or not, that's going to be up to you, right? But anyways, with these risks involved, right, the Bitcoin halving is a big risk because the block reward is dropping from 6.25 Bitcoin per block down to 3.125. Okay. And then as well, talking about the network hash rate, another big thing that's happening with a lot of big players in the space, right? Not just us smaller residential miners that are buying 1 or 2 or 3 of them, you know, having a couple at home. We're running them at like 10 cent, 12 cent, 14 cent per kilowatt hour. You know, it's barely making, you know, some money for us right now. Let's just say 14 cent per kilowatt hour. I think that's the US, you know, residential just right now for average for electrical. So an S19K Pro at about 14 cents per kilowatt hour. Let me make sure that's true here. 14 cent per kilowatt. Yeah, 14 cent per kilowatt hour. Okay. Is going to be making on an S19K about 89 cents a day. Okay. If you had an S19J Pro, a 100 or 104 terahash, that would be negative $1.50 a day. So you can see the reason why that is, right? It's because of the efficiency of the S19J Pros, right? These are a lot less, a bit of it looks like a lot less, but it's actually not that much, but it is a big difference when it comes to, you know, you're comparing the power consumption, the electrical cost versus the efficiency. And, you know, looking at this, right, you can see that's why at 24, 25 with these S19J Pros that, you know, they're less efficient than obviously these new models that are out, right? So hopefully you guys understand that. But anyways, going down here, now let's just say we were a massive mining farm, which there are many of them, maybe gas flares, maybe hydro, maybe even like 2 cents, 1 cent per kilowatt hour. Right now, let's just do 4 cents. Right, let's be more realistic, right? You know, big mining farms have expenses too. They have employees, you know, they got a decent amount of overhead. Let's just say S19K Pro, you know, they had these at a 4 cent kilowatt hour. That would be generating $7.51 a day. Okay. Their S19J Pros, 104s, $5.85. Okay. Going down the list here. Even if you had a, let's say S17, I think people that have S17 Pros, $2.48 a day, all right, at 4 cent kilowatt hour. So for big mining farms that have cheaper electric, less than, I'm going to say, yeah, 432, they could have a lot of these S17 Pros and still generating this amount of money against their electrical cost, right? They're still profiting, right? That could be the case. And then actually a story, I just talked with a mining farm that has a bunch of S17s. They are already cycling out these for their new batch of S21s. Okay, they pre-ordered a massive batch of these. All right, so they're going to be turning off. They're going to be, you know, fire sailing their S17s for newer, more efficient Bitcoin miners. Okay, these guys that are doing this, they have millions upon millions of dollars in orders for these S21s. Okay, and it's bigger than us, right? This is huge, right? Bitcoin mining is such a huge space, right? There are a lot of whales out there, a lot of bigger plays in the space, where, you know, us residential miners, it's hard for us to compete because they have much lower expenses, right? When it comes to, especially their electric, right? They're making money versus their electrical cost, if that makes sense. So for most of you guys that are watching me right now are residential miners. And I have a few big mining farm people who watch me. I've talked with you guys. You guys purchased a one-on-one. You talk with me, my RedPandaMining.shop. And I've gotten great insight from all these guys who are, you know, much bigger than I am, right? Much bigger than all of us, right? These guys are spending millions upon millions of dollars in infrastructure, this kind of stuff. And they are making hand over fist, just tons of money, right? Tons of money, Bitcoin mining, because their electrical cost is next to nothing. All right, so I don't want to keep boasting about that. All right, it makes me more depressed, probably makes you guys more depressed, more and more depressed as we hear about, you know, bigger farms that are going to be cycling out their older miners for much newer, more efficient, more terahash ASIC miners, a lot more efficient. And they're just going to, it's probably going to, you know, as miners turn off, okay, this is where I'm getting to, where the Bitcoin network hash rate, it may come down, but as those guys turn off their older ASIC miners, then they're going to be receiving their newer, more terahash models, which are going to slowly creep up the hash rate. This is just the constant cycle of massive Bitcoin miners that are doing it commercially, you know, have much lower electrical cost, and, you know, they're going to be investing millions upon millions of dollars into these newer ASIC miners, especially the hydro ones. Okay, there are a couple big guys out there that have the hydro miners. Okay, these ones, I actually, Crypto Miner Bros, they reached out to me for reviewing one of these S66Ss, and actually even the Bitmain S21 Hydro. And I said to them, I am unable to run this at home because this requires 3-phase power. I don't have 3-phase power at home. One of these hydro cooling guys take 5,360 watts. So I said, I will be able to show it. Like I can show it physically, but I will be unable to run one of these at home because I only have 240 volt, and this is something, yeah, I cannot run at home. So let me know what you guys think about that. Unless there is some way I can run like this massive 390 terahash WhatsMiner M63 hydro miner. I just can't because it requires 380 to 480 volt, which I do not have. 7,200 watts for this Micro BT WhatsMiner M63S. That is insane. Look at this thing. It's like a 4U, 1U, 2U looking thing. Is this, let's see, about 1L 16. It doesn't say how many U it is, but it looks like a 2U by the looks of it. Anyways, guys, I just want to just basically talk about these new miners, these new models that have come out. And if you guys are thinking of purchasing this, with what is going to be transpiring here over the next April, May, okay, of 2024 with the Bitcoin halving. We don't know if the price is going to go up afterwards, shortly after, or before. Who knows, right? Bitcoin's very volatile. All right. So if you're thinking of getting into buying, these ASICs right now, let me know. I'm curious what your guys' thought process is because, yeah, if once we lose the block reward down to half, profitability at the current price is going to be cut in half. Okay. So at 4 cents, just I don't think anyone here has really, not many people here have 4 cents. An S19K Pro will then be like $3.25 at 4 cents per kilowatt hour. So anyone that bought a lot of Bitmain S19K Pros will still be okay, right? At 4 cents. But let's say anyone at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, the S19K Pro will then turn into, at current network hash rate, current price, S19K Pro will then turn into what? I think you cut that in half, 50 cents will be 25 cents. Okay. But we all know that during the next, the next couple months here, when the next batches, all the batches of the S21s start shipping out, which are in the hundreds of, I'm going to say like hundreds of thousands of these are going to be shipping out, right? These are being manufactured in mass. Okay. Big players in the space are getting into these. And we, in my opinion, residential miners, we're like going to be left in the dust, but that's going to depend on the price of Bitcoin. If the price of Bitcoin goes up much higher than it is now, then it could still give life to the residential miners, depending on their electrical cost. I mean, that's really the game here, right? It's a zero-sum game, and it's really hard to compete against bigger players that have much lower expenses, much lower electrical price. But for anyone that is able to stay lean and mean, and try to stay competitive in a way where we got to stay efficient and stuff. I mean, that's the name of the game in this whole thing. So. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Let me know your guys' thoughts about all these new miners that are coming out for Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin miner as a residential miner. I'm not really fond of it. My electrical cost is okay, but then it's not okay. I am using a lot more power than what they are generating in terms of profit-wise. But Bitcoin mining, I think, in my opinion, it's becoming a much bigger game now, bigger than residential mining. And a lot of people are, like me, if you guys saw recently, I am getting my ASIC miners hosted, right? So at a much lower cost than what I'm paying residential, right? So I'll be having another video about talking about that, with who I'm hosting with. And yeah, I'll do that another video. So let me know what you guys think about all this. And if you are deciding to purchase any ASIC miners, check out Crypto Miner Bros down below, link down below. And that'll support the channel as well if you purchase through them, and use offer code RedPanda for $50 off if you're interested. So see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace out.